6 a.m, glassy water, not a breath of wind. The perfect morning to start on one of the great fishing adventures of Australia. I'm on board with Justin Duggan of Sydney Fly Fishing in Sydney's Middle Harbour. He knows this harbour like the back of his hand, and local advice makes all the difference when you're fishing. Justin, I just never thought I would see a place like this in Sydney. I mean, it's national park, rocks and caves. You feel it's a part outback, part rich and famous with some hills, multi-million-dollar houses up on the hills, some yachts moored here. What sort of species do you target through the seasons up here, mate?
Mate, it's a big variety. A lot of what I chase are the pelagic fish, so the surface fish, kingfish and the tunas and the salmon and so on. But I also don't mind diverging towards jewfish and flathead. And there's some big mulloway here. You know, the jewfish there's good population in the harbour. Yeah. So the beautiful thing about the harbour is the variety.
Mate, bring it on.
It's a playground, mate.
Yeah, it is. A 10-minute boat ride, and we were at one of Justin's favourite spots, and on the lookout for any telltale signs. What I like, whether it's lure or fly, I love hunting fish, particularly in calm water, because it's game on, you know. Tell us what we've got over there, because the average eye would have no idea what that could be.
Yeah, we've got small kingfish that are slurping bait off the surface, and it almost looks like a trout rising.
Yeah.
It's just the tiniest little swirl, but it's actually schools of kingfish, so...
Unreal.
See if we can get them to eat.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing else to give it away, no birds. Yeah. Always learn it, and that's what your good fly fishing and lure fishing guides know. There's little subtle signs, of which there are many, that can lead you towards a fish that otherwise you go, oh, there's nothing out here. Now that we know where they are, all that's left to do is put a fly right in front of them. Irresistible.
Come on.
Yep, got him?
Yes, got him on. There'll be fish with this guy.
Yep, yeah, I'll go try this up. Go, good. Oh, good work, mate. I just want to see one of these guys.
Oh, man, they got some strength, haven't they?
There's kings all around the boat of all sizes at the moment. This is fantastic. Well, let's hope this one sticks on, because we've had a couple on and off. When you're sight fishing, a modern pair of fishing sunnies is a must. My tonics go beyond polarised, so I can see fish much better and make sure every cast is on target.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? You know, there's one right on your fly then. It's interesting, you've got to almost work it right to the boat, because they'll take it right at your feet. Tiny little He's on it. You know, yes. That worked.
Got him.
Let him run. Beautiful. Nice, mate.
Pretty sure I got him. Well, there you go. Woo! You can see where they get their name, yellowtail kingfish. To hook those guys on fly in conditions like this, mate, just sensational. Again, it is truly one of the great fishing adventures of Australia, and you don't have to leave Sydney. And I got one on here. Oh, no! Mine's up. It looked like this one.
You spoke too soon, mate. You spoke too soon.
It looked like this one. Well, I reckon we'll get some more, yep. Justin, tell us a bit about the Great Fishing Adventure of Australia website, mate.
Mate, it's a great website for visitors to Australia and for locals as well to find out about the great diversity of opportunities of fishing around the country. It will put you in touch with some great operators, really good businesses that can get you onto great fish and great opportunities all around the country.
Oh, absolutely. It's great fishing, great guides, all the best equipment and first-notch customer service. It is a ripper. Make sure you jump on, the details are on the screen. But we're fly and lure fishing here today. You can bait fish as part of the Great Fishing Adventure of Australia program, and you know, everything here, for example, in Sydney Harbour, from salmon and kingfish that we're catching to this beautiful dusky flathead in a little remote cove. All too easy, mate. You go all right. Long range release. Fantastic, mate. Justin has some killer spots for bigger kings, but I couldn't stay today, which was killing me. But great to experience Sydney Harbour in all its glory. Tell you what, I could do that all day long, every day. That is great fun. Fly fishing on Sydney Harbour, mate. Whoa, love it. Sydney Harbour is one of Australia's busiest waterways. Every day, a huge variety of people and craft head out onto the water to enjoy themselves. But it's super important that safety is at the top of the list when you're getting ready to go. And it's not just the harbour you need to be prepared for. River, lake or ocean, any water activities need to be approached with the same simple rules to make sure that you not only have a great day on the water, but that you return home safely to your families. Before we wear the line, to give us the top tips to make sure we stay safe on the water, I'm catching up with Richard Hanley and Nathan Adamson. Gentlemen, how are you? Richard,
G'day,
Nathan.
Rob.
G'day, Rob.
Good to see you. What are the conditions like here today, guys?
Well, it's protected in here at the moment.
A big southerly coming through. But we've got some of the most beautiful waterways in the world here in Australia. But unfortunately, every year people's lives are lost due to incidents on the water. Richard, for a start, how can we help keep people safe, mate?
Rob, my top tips are to be informed and be prepared. And you can inform yourself by looking up the boating weather. If the weather is not in your favour, then it's going to be a good day to do some maintenance or check your tackle at home.
What are some of the places you can check the weather, mate?
Look, there are so many websites are available for us nowadays, Rob, but the main one is the Bureau of Meteorology's page. You can get your marine weather reports there.
You've checked the weather. It's looking pretty good. It's within your boat's capabilities. You're about to go out. What else do you need to check?
You've got to carry your essential safety equipment, Rob. And there is equipment that you carry in enclosed waters and some extra items that you need for open waters, which is out in the ocean. Things like distress flares. You need to check the expiry dates on those because they do expire and they may not work for you. With your safety equipment, not only do you need to carry it, it needs to be accessible. So you need to be able to get to it in a hurry if you need it. The most important item of safety equipment on any vessel is the life jacket. Unfortunately, 7 out of 10 people who drown while boating are not wearing a life jacket. So the message is, if you're not wearing a life jacket, it can't save your life. So wear it. You need to carry a life jacket for every person who is on board. Inflatable style life jackets are really popular. You want to look over that life jacket in general, make sure it's in good condition, check the cover, check the belts, buckles and clasps. Importantly, have a look at the mechanism, make sure that the gas bottle is screwed in firm finger tight, and if it has indicators, make sure that they are in the green, or if it has a little plastic breakaway clip, make sure that that clip is in place.
Nathan, give me some advice that you would have to add to Richard's in terms of what people can do when they're heading out on the water.
Yeah, well, the point that I'd like to bring up is if you're going into open or offshore waters, you need to tell someone where you're going and what time you're coming home. And also, log on and log off with Marine Rescue. You can do that on the phone. You can also do it on your marine radio, channel 16 VHF, and also on the smartphone app.
Nathan, there's a whole stack of conditions that can come into play that can make it unsafe out there, mate. Give me your list.
Well, there is a big stack there, Rob. So there's wind, there's tide, there's swell, there's visibility, there's other vessel traffic, there's swimmers in the water, there's passive craft. All those factors combine, and you as the skipper need to make a judgment call. If you need to go somewhere protected or quiet, then do that. Find a protected, sheltered cove, or if it's just too busy and too hectic, then you can head back in and come back another time. You might even decide when you first get there and have a look that it's too busy. So if in doubt, don't go out.
Well, lads, thanks for your time. It's great advice. I'm just going to follow your advice here like I do every time, and I'm going to chill out in here in the harbour in Watson's Bay. It's a little bit messy out there, and it's going to get worse as that tide picks up and the wind picks up. So I'm going to keep myself safe in here and really appreciate you guys keeping everyone safe on the water. It's a fantastic job you do. Watson's Bay is a must-visit for most visitors to Sydney Harbour. Located right near the southern headland of the harbour, it's also a great stepping-off point for fishermen of all types. Today I'll be fishing with David Doyle, a sixth-generation fisherman and restaurateur from the Watson's Bay icon, Doyle's on the Beach. If anyone knows fish and fishing in this area, it's definitely him. Hi, you guys. Nice to meet you, Dave.
See you, mate.
Mate, as always, Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh, you've turned on the weather again for us?
It's a ripper of a day, mate. Yeah.
Oh. David, I've been looking a bit at safety on the water, and as I get older, I'm conscious that I need to take a little bit more extra care And look, there's a stack of retired people out there that love fishing and water sports. And unfortunately, the numbers show that they're a high-risk group.
Yeah, the statistics show that 1 in 5 fatalities come from people my age, like 60 and 65 and over, or 60 and over, and 90% of them are male. So we just have to be take a lot of care.
What's the sort of first step that comes to mind when you're getting ready to go fishing?
Mate, always tell someone you're going out. Don't go on your own. Give them an idea what time you're going to be back. But the other thing is try and take a mate. Who's to say that you slip on the boat, hit your head, have an accident? At least you've got a mate that'll help you. Yeah, help you out.
And it's not a rush anymore at our age, is it?
No, take it slow and steady, and you find that's when you will have an accident, when you're rushing.
I always find that a checklist helps, not only for checking off the safety gear and make sure it's all there, but also a checklist of things that I need to check, like weather, swell conditions, etc. What do you do?
Getting to our age, we can be a bit forgetful, mate. So I do. I have a checklist and make sure I order all my safety gear and everything. I'm lucky enough to keep all my safety gear on the boat. The people that don't, keep it in the garage and go out every now and then. Yeah. Check it all off that you got everything there.
David, I can see the boat's up to the job for myself, you and Ryan. It's going to be fine in these conditions. What other little things do you do to your boat to help out?
Oh, mate, plenty of handrails. It's a vital thing. Yep. Keep your balance. Non-slip floor. Yeah. That's a great help as well. Yep. And just keep the boat tidy around. Nothing you can trip over. Yeah.
And one last thing, you'd seen examples here. These guys here, pretty important, eh?
Oh, for sure, life jackets. There's no excuse not to wear one. These days, you're more likely to take it off and go to bed with it on. But
have you walked into a restaurant with this on? I want to know.
No,
I nearly have.
No, I haven't done that yet.
They're comfortable, yeah.
I think I might have went to the pub when I was a bit thirsty with it on. But no, saying that, jokes aside, there was an old fisherman many years ago that fished nearly every day of his life, and he's just trying to get his dinghy into the boat here in the bay, and sadly enough, fell out, hit his head and drowned. So. These days with a life jacket, save it. Yeah.
They're so good and easy to wear, and I can see Ryan's got yours ready. I've got mine here.
Great.
Let's go for a fish on the harbour. So what's the plan, mate?
We're going to go over here and pick Ryan's lobster pot up. But he's the lucky fisherman, Ryan. He's been getting one of his pot most days, so let's see how we go. Oh, I'll say a prayer. Hope there's a lobster in there, mate.
Paul. Ew.
He's not a giant lobster. He's about 600 or 650 grams. Normally, this time of year, we get the travellers over a kilo.
Wow.
But he's still very legal. Yeah, got to be. They measure him from the carapace here. Yep. And he's well legal. And it's a little female. It's got 2 little claws on its back leg. It tells you it's a female.
You still keep a female?
You're allowed to keep the female. Yep. Unless they're rowed up.
Yep.
This one is not rowed up. You look like you're going to have a grilled lobster tonight.
With one lobster in the bag, we headed off into the beautiful little bays nearby, home to some of Sydney's most exclusive properties, and some of David and Ryan's favourite secret spots. While I enjoyed the art of casting flies for elusive blackfish, David was having a bit more luck with bait. Enjoy the art of fishing, mate, the art of casting, and I'm keen to see what you've got on here.
Might be all right. That's a nice little bream.
Oh, beautiful
bream.
net,
Ryan.
Mate, I reckon you can tell us stuff about bream that nobody else knows. Come on.
About bream? Well,
yeah. I'm putting you on the spot.
I know when they get to... He's got a slight little bit of a blue nose. Coming into the summer months, we actually get some monster bream here. You look at them off the wharf and you think they're mowong, like snapper, and they're obviously big breeders. Yeah. I know they're extremely slow growing.
Yeah, right.
The fish's age is something like 20 years old or something. So it's just something ridiculous. Yeah, it's like
they can live a long, long time.
Yeah, I'm not sure how crazy it is or whatever, but I hate to let them go back where their other mates are. Whether they go and tell their mates or not, I don't know. But I'll let them go on the other side of the boat.
Let's do that. With the afternoon moving on, we tried a few more spots, but it seemed we were on more of a sightseeing tour for the waterfront properties of the rich and famous. But who can complain on a glorious day like this? What a city. After the break, it's a Sydney fish frenzy. That's a big school of salmon. We're heading out from Watson's Bay and back on board with Justin Duggan of Sydney Fly Fishing.
What's the plan, mate? I know. And I'm excited because when you're after fish, you just can't beat experienced local advice.
We're chasing salmon and kingies and tailor, pelagics.
Yeah, Sydney's famous for surface fish like Australian salmon and yellowtail kingfish. There's a host of other surface fish as well, but we'll be chasing salmon and hopefully kingfish as well.
Lure, fly, or both?
Whatever's going to work, mate. I normally have a look at what the fish are doing, and I can judge the size of the bait they're feeding on by their behaviour. And if they're feeding on tiny stuff, I think the fly is the best option. If they're looking more aggressive, the lures can be really good as well. And we'll try both. At the moment, I'm looking for birds. The gulls are often the best sign that there's a school of fish.
And as we headed out, it was indeed a flock of gulls that drew us outside their heads to a big school of salmon.
Some big salmon. Oh, look at them everywhere. There's some big salmon in there.
Oh, look at them all over it. Yes.
Oh, finally.
Yes.
Mate, these are some big salmon.
All right.
Mate, for people who haven't done much fishing, or even if they've done a lot of fishing, to come out on the harbour here with you and flick lures at fish like that, I mean, they would be just ecstatic.
I think it's a bit of a hidden secret of Sydney for a lot of people. They don't realise we have one of the best, if not the best, urban fishery in the world. Oh, how about I net your one while I fight my one?
No problem, no worries at all. Oh, look at that. Salmon number one.
Not my most graceful netting moment, mate.
Oh, it's a little bit rocky out here, but look at that, a beautiful Australian salmon. Mr. Australian salmon, you're going back.
With salmon number 2 on lure in the net, it was time for the next challenge.
Well, you're going to learn a stack of stuff about lure fishing here with Justin on the harbour, but if you want to go next level, fly fishing for them, just a magnificent way to catch fish. The challenge factor of casting the whole bit, it is just exquisite. So Justin's got me rigged up. He's got all the fly gear ready to go. Oh, over the top. Oh, no.
Don't worry, keep stripping. Oh! Yeah, got him.
Oh, bit of luck there. I lined him for a second and then bang, one's come around and snatched it. Ah, an 8-weight rod, which is just a little bit heavier than what you'd normally use for trout. Oi!
If you don't know how to fly cast, don't worry. Justin can get you started in a few easy lessons.
I don't know, there's much more fun you can have on Sydney Harbour than this. Look at this. You know, it's just great for Australians at the moment to take these sorts of tours, you know, that they wouldn't normally do, you know. Not going overseas, stay home, and you're going to learn so much about your backyard. There's quite literally 3 million people here, and a very small percentage of them know what's on offer right
100%.
here. Yeah.
100%. I mean, a city of 5 million people.
Is it 5 million? Is it?
Yeah,
Oh, you know, it's rare for me to under-exaggerate.
You're a fisherman.
So you can catch them on lure, but if you want to try something different, fly, you can practice at home, your casting, and then get out with Justin and hook into something like that. Look at that beautiful fish.
It was time to head back inside the harbour, and you might find it hard to believe, but Justin tells me that he's caught some of his biggest fish right near some of Sydney's most iconic landmarks.
I find this pretty cool, Justin. I mean, there's, you know, so many people up there at work, and the fact that you have got stories of big fish right here in front of the Opera House, under the bridge, you know, kingies and stuff, like,
Yeah.
wow, that's impressive. I mean, and while we're looking for them, you're getting a tour of the harbour.
That's a pretty impressive place. I never get sick of it, Robin, and to be honest, just looking at the shadow line there in the harbour bridge, that is the #1 spot for big schools of kingfish and Australian salmon to feed, because it's like a conveyor belt of bait comes through this area. It's a narrow channel, and they will sit in the shadow sometimes all day. It's pretty amazing.
Wow, I'm really enjoying looking for fish and taking in the scenery at the same time. It's epic.
Scenery aside, we were here to fish. And with Justin's expert eye, it wasn't long before we hooked up again.
Yep, there we go. Hey! Well, look at that. Fly fishing on Sydney Harbour. Harbour Bridge there in the background, the Opera House, and another fish on the fly. Whoa, it's a good one too, and he's having a good old go. Oh, he's going to go down. Oh, look at that. Well, Justin, you've covered yourself in glory, mate. You can catch them on lure, you can catch them on fly.
Oh, I'm getting tired from netting all your fish, mate.
It truly is one of the great fishing adventures of Australia. The backdrop is sensational, the fishing is brilliant, and I tell you what, you know, the whole holiday here this year and take a tour in your backyard thing, I mean, you know, is there a better example than this, mate? It's just sensational. Loving it.
For info about Justin's Sydney fly fishing tours and more great fishing adventures of Australia, check out australia.com/fishing. No matter what part of Australia you'd like to fish, this website has taken the hard work out of choosing the best local options. You'll have the adventure of a lifetime.